More like this is little Caylee Anthony. And a new report is not faring well for her mother, Casey. It says the cloth covering and the garbage bag the child here was found in may now be linked to the Anthony home. For days now, FBI agents have been scouring this wooded area, less than a half-mile from the Anthony home, removing brush and sifting through mounds of dirt, looking for more clues. The gruesome discovery of the small child was made Thursday by a water utility worker.
We found a human skull.
Oh my gosh, what's the location?
It's right off of Suburban and Chickasaw in the Kelly Anthony area, right by the...
Oh, if you can, try to stress to him to please not draw attention to the area.
The evidence suggests the child may have suffered some terrifying last moments. Police sources say the skull, found inside a garbage bag, still had duct tape attached to the mouth.
The tape you're going to look for fingerprints. You're going to look for a similar type tape that Casey's had access to. And the other thing you're going to look for on tape is what they call trace evidence, which are fibers and hair that can be transferred from one person to the other.
Investigators also removed bags of evidence from the Anthony home, reportedly a pillow, a vacuum cleaner, even pesticides and pool chemicals.
There might have been chloroform around those remains. They're going to pull anything that might have soil on it, like shoes, a shovel. They're going to try to link things from the car to the scene, to Casey's house, and then ultimately to Casey.
But Casey Anthony's defense team, including forensics expert Dr. Henry Lee of O.J. Simpson and JonBenet Ramsey fame, has been shut out of the crime scene.
We should be able to observe, even if not from a distance, or have qualified people in there.
And the Anthony family is taking the news hard. Caylee's uncle dismantled this memorial.
Do not follow me onto our property. I will call you.
Her grandparents remain optimistic, but are well aware this could be the end of the search.
They're devastated. They're devastated.
Police say more bones were found here over the weekend, but DNA testing does take at least a week. We do know now, though, that the hair found on the child here is the same color as Caylee's, and the body size is also a match. Robin.
Andrea, thank you so much. Just a short time ago, I spoke to two members of the Casey Anthony defense team, both forensic scientists, Professor Lawrence Kobolinski of John Jay College and Professor Timothy Huntington of the University of Nebraska. Neither have yet been given access to the evidence, but I asked them what new information we have learned this morning.
The only thing that we know is there is now additional evidence, a new element. We have a skeleton. We have the plastic bag it was held in. We have duct tape. And that could be very critical information. We have a new crime scene. We know that the crime scene has been submerged for a lengthy period of time. And now the questions first begin.
Professor Huntington, your expertise in when it comes to the environment. So how will that affect your ability to be able to determine the cause of death and perhaps the time of death?
Well, my expertise is insects, and so if the scene was indeed submerged, the insect evidence will show that. If the evidence from the body from the scene don't show any indication of submersion, then that means something else. That means maybe it wasn't.
Do you think that you would be able to determine when those remains were put there, when the crucial time of death, since this young girl has been missing since June, since the summer?
Well, insect evidence, forensic entomology in general, deals largely, almost entirely with postmortem interval and time of death. And so even years later, insects can be very useful in estimating the time since death, and it's one of the very few ways that can do that.
Professor Kobolinski, you mentioned about the duct tape, that a common household product. What exactly can that really show authorities?
Well, both the duct tape and the bag are critical pieces of evidence. The duct tape, especially on the adhesive side, can reveal fingerprints, perhaps trace evidence, fiber, soil. There are a lot of things that will adhere to that tape, and that may be traceable directly back to the source. And certainly for comparison purposes, examining this type of substance found in the Anthony home, I think this is what law enforcement is going to be looking into.
In the garbage bags?
Indeed, the garbage bags have very unique characteristics, and as we all know, there is the garbage bag that the skeleton was found in, but also the garbage bag that was in the trunk of Casey's vehicle. The guess is that they are looking or have found plastic bags in the Anthony home. And of course, what the attempt is to match up these bags. If you can tell that they were manufactured from the same lot, this becomes very critical evidence.
Is there a level of frustration that you have to wait a certain amount of time? And is it compromised at all by the time that you're able to see the evidence that's being gathered?
This is a very critical case. Somebody's life is at stake here. A child is deceased. I'm more than happy to wait and have them do it right. There are lots of I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed, and this is a medical, scientific, legal process, and it does take time. It's better to wait another few days and get it right.
Professor Huntington?
I'm actually going to take the opposing viewpoint. Insect evidence changes over time. If there are live insects associated with the remains, that's evidence that's changing right now. And the sooner I can get access to that, the better it is and the more accurate it will be. And anytime a scientist looks at anything, any kind of evidence, they alter it or change it in some way. And if possible, we're all scientists, we're all after the truth. We should be able to look at it at the same time and everybody get an equal opportunity to look at it in context.
Professor Huntington, Professor Kobylinski, thank you both.